Hello there and welcome to another video. My name is James Cooper and some more top tips coming about cruising. This is being filmed on Thanksgiving Day. I'm not an American, obviously. I'm not in America, but I thought I'd put up the Christmas tree because it's like the start of Christmas time, even though it's not even December. Stay tuned, I'm going to come back and we're going to go into some more ideas to make your cruise a happier and more enjoyable place. Okay, so here I am back in my normal seat, very comfortable here. Cruising, you booked your cruise, you're excited, you're going to go on this 4-star cruise somewhere in the world. Packing your suitcase, first of all. It's going to depend on what kind of cruise you're doing. If it's a fly cruise, usually you're only going to be allowed about 20 kilos on board the aeroplane. I think on some airlines and I think on some cruise ship excursions when they charter the aircraft, you can upgrade it to about 40. When I did long contracts on board many different kind of ships, as a crew member or as an officer, you're allowed to bring 40 kilos on an aeroplane. Fantastic. And that seemed to be enough. And for a man, I managed to get away with about 35, 36. So depending, if it's like a cruise that leaves Southampton in the UK and you drive down there, you can bring as much as you want. If you take a coach, maybe the coach has restrictions on how many pieces of luggage and how much they weigh. So that's to look into. You get to the cruise terminal. Again, we touched this before. If it says your arrival time or your check-in time is 12:30, then please arrive around that time. Don't arrive earlier, don't arrive later, because they're trying to schedule it because there's thousands of people getting on board. So packing, what to bring? If you're doing, let's say, the Caribbean, there's usually only kind of 2 dress codes. Okay, one is going to be smart casual and the other one is going to be formal. There's no informal, usually in the Caribbean. I could be wrong. And different cruise ships have different allowances for this. As I worked mainly for P&O, etc. and Cunard before, they did have 3 dress codes, but in the Caribbean or the Caribbean was only 2. Because of the fly cruising and the weight allowance that you would bring on a charter or a scheduled flight if you're just going on the economy classes. So, apart from your clothes, obviously, your makeup, your shoes, some extra things to bring. Some of the ships are old. Some of the ships may not have the right electrical plug, so bring a universal adapter with you. That's a great thing to have, so you can plug something in. A lot of people recommend bringing a strip, so you can plug lots of electrical items in. But do be aware that as a crew member, we weren't allowed anything over, I think it was 1,000 watts, because it can actually cause a fire. And especially if the ship is older, the electrical wiring is not as what it used to be. And if there's thousands of passengers and thousands of crew banging all that electricity out, and if it's too much for the electrical socket, that could be a problem. So do be aware of that. Some other things to think about to bring, and again, this is going to vary from cruise ship to cruise ship. Alcohol and cigarettes. Some cruise lines do allow a certain amount of alcohol you can bring on board. Whiskey or wine. Cigarettes, usually I don't think there's any problem. But do be aware, if you buy some cigarettes overseas and then trying to bring them back into your own country, there may be some restrictions. So if you're in the EU and it's for personal use, cigarettes, you can bring as many as you want, I think. But if you're outside the EU, and you buy the cigarettes from Tenerife or a island like that, then you have to declare it. Or if you go to a port like Gibraltar, where the cigarettes are incredibly cheap, the custom officers know where the ship has been and they know what passengers are like, and they will stop hundreds of people It's something to be aware about. Once you've checked in to the terminal, the next thing you'll have to do is go through security. And this is one thing that really frustrates me in airports as well, is that you're waiting in line, and then when we're waiting for a person to take off their belt, to take off their shoes, they've still got coins in their pockets or their mobile phone. And even though there's big video screens there, say, take this out, just put it in a bag, and then push it through the x-ray, etc. Watch those video screens so the check-in and the security can go really smoothly. Occasionally, most people may forget. I've done it certainly in the past. I used to fly, oh my God, sometimes 2 times a week to get to a destination. And sometimes you would forget. I think that's sort of acceptable. But when they're taking off their jumper or their hat just before the x-ray, why can't you do it while you're waiting for it? So there's something to think about as well. I truly do hope that you enjoy these videos, and please do leave some comments. If you are going to leave a comment, please be polite with it. If there is anything that's impolite, I will delete. Yeah? I'm only trying to give you some personal experience related to advice, especially for people who haven't been on a cruise ship before. I worked on certain cruise ships, you could say near enough, for over 22 years. And my first one is in 1990 on Cunard, and my last one was way up to in 2012. But I have done lots of kind of like promotional work for some of the American lines as well, before anyone. So I'm only sort of giving you my personal advice, how maybe something you've forgotten. If you do have any ideas, please subscribe, please leave a comment, please like. The notification, the bell, if you want to hear more things related to travel. I will be doing some more. Next year I have extensive travel, not on cruise ships, but on airlines, and I will be reviewing some of them. A lot of the airline reviews all do business class. If I do fly a long distance, obviously I'm not going to go economy. But if I'm just doing a half an hour or a 2-hour hop, I'm going to go cattle class in the back. And I will review that for you, so I can share some mainly Asian airlines. Peace, love, be good to each other. Have a great day. Bye for now. Bye.